the story of our world every day. Listen and your heart may open up. If ever you feel frightened of our world that's washed away, a mother is a mother, come to us. Women, 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 women. Women sew the fabric of our world every day. History of violence made it through. The stories that we share will all live on, and so we say these truths are our gifts passed on to you.
Welcome to the hashtag 101 Nights show, brought to you by the Scheherazade Project. I'm Lisa Liebau, co-founder with Julia Alvarez. We're coming down to the wire. During this final week before Election Day 2020, we're hosting multi-artist specials each night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Please leave a comment in the chat about what hashtag 101 Nights has meant to you these past few months. More importantly, now is the time. If you haven't already done so, cast your ballot in this most important election. If there are long lines, bring food, something to read, or better yet, tune in to hashtag 101 Nights to pass the time. We'll be streaming a marathon of all episodes from 1 to 101 all day long on Election Day. This is it. Vote, everyone.
I am so excited to be a part of this project because I believe in the power of storytelling, and I know if you want to change something, you first have to speak about it. And if you want to reimagine, usually that starts with art. And so first, I would like to give a shout out to Lisa and Julia, the founders of the Scheherazade Project. Lisa is a good friend of mine, and I remember when she first came up with this idea last year, and I am so, so proud of them and honored to take the stage. In my regular life, I am a global serial tech entrepreneur, 52 countries, over 30 plus years, 7 startups, 2 of them have gone public, and a patent. I've also done something that no other entrepreneur has ever done before or since, of any race or gender. And that is, I've raised $670 million for a startup. It was in the 90s. We used that money to build satellites and launch the first ever global digital radio platform. That money went to XM radio. That money invested in MP3 and MP4 technologies. And I was also the first of my family to be born with all of my civil rights. And you may ask, why is that important? And it's important because the story that I told inside my head is a different story than I would have told if every 2 to 4 years my country was telling me that my ideas, my opinion, and my vote didn't matter. And so I developed stories inside my head that were stories of invention and creativity and global travel and leadership. And from those stories, I imagine raising the $670 million and doing all those startups and seeing the world. We can change reality one story at a time. And my story tonight and my performance in art tonight that I'm going to share with you is a story of tribute to a great female leader. And my poem is called Hermione Rising. And yes, it's a shout out to Hermione Granger of Harry Potter. It's actually the closing of my book, Vote Like a Boss, which came out on the anniversary of the March on Washington, August 28th of this year. And it's a collection of essays and poems and writings with an entrepreneur's perspective on innovation and leadership and creativity, storytelling, and voting. And we end with Hermione Rising, and you'll understand why once I perform it. But I want to say that I am a big believer in Hermione. In the British version of the live stage play, J.K. Rowling casted a Black woman in that role. She was actually a West African Black woman. And so, true Black girl magic. But more importantly, I think the message is that Hermione is all of us who are told that we're muggles, that we have no magic, and then we rise to be great sorceresses. And I'm sure someday there will be a Herman Granger, because Hermione is all of us. So I give you Hermione rising. I imagine something new, something different. I imagine a better way, something disruptive and innovative, used and revered, demanded and paid for, something transformative. Imagination, why do we deny it and discount it? It's the source of all innovation. Einstein was theoretical, not applied. Da Vinci, an artist and a scientist. George Washington Carver, no vision, no hope. And Harriet, well, Harriet had to have imagined freedom before she took the first step. I have a dream of traveling in space, of curing cancer, of running for office, of peace, unity, equality, and equity. You get what I'm saying? It's not about the how, it's about the why, the sense of purpose, the calling. No need to teach imagination, just endorse it. And with grace, give space for it. It's not to be packed away, it should be on display in schools and offices, a priority among the others. Serious vote for tinkering and sketching and making and for play. Forcing memorization of someone else's prior imagination is not the way. The recipe gives space to expand and extend a concept through empathy and understanding, through diversity and collaboration, and embrace for imagination in the case of them all. The more minds that imagine together, the more innovation blossoms. The more diverse these minds, the taller it grows. And if it's fueled by love and understanding, it thrives and soars. We are 7 billion strong, brothers and sisters. We can do anything unless we fight each other. Go human or go home. Daydreamers, you are our future game changers. Your place is at the top of the class. Take out your wand and cast the spell of I want that. Wield your magic. It'll be messy, right? Reality is always messy. Wield your magic of hope and faith, and know that the world may attack your genius now, but love you for it later. Hermione is rising, and her power is limitless. And by God's grace, so is yours. I pray at this moment in history, more than any other, that you'll use it for the greater good. And vote. God believes in you. Believe in yourself. Take care, ladies, and I'll see you on the 101st night.
One, two, three.
Welcome to Stuck in Vermont, brought to you by 7 Days. We're here on the top of Church Street in Burlington, Vermont, where feminists against Trump are holding a witch-in.
We have magic potions.
I wanted to hex Donald Trump and the bad energy around that.
Cast spells in favor of better things.
We've invited anyone who feels like a nasty woman at heart or a witch at heart.
I heard about it in 7 days, laughed a lot reading the article, and made sure I would show up.
Abracadabra, here's a spell. Donald Trump can go to hell. Woo!
Vermont is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful day, even though there is some raining. But I think it's an opportunity for celebration also. The witches in all of us, and all genders too.
We are feminists against Trump. So that is an offshoot of the Vermont Feminist Collaborative, which is a group of feminist professors and women's studies people who are getting together trying to share resources, share ideas, and share activism too.
Nasty women vote! Nasty women vote!
We're very hopeful that today we will cast spells that will make the Great Orange One disappear forever. Trumpkins are a really important piece of the magic because by carving the great orange one into pumpkin form and either smashing it or at least allowing it to rot, I think we will be able to defeat Trump this fall. Double, double, boiling trouble, fires burning, cauldrons bubble. With this magic spell we doth cast, bring us a woman president at last! Woo! It's interesting what this campaign has done. In some ways, it's been the most misogynist campaign, at least since Andrew Jackson. And on the other hand, that misogyny has allowed people to come together around feminist causes. One pussy! One vote! One pussy! One vote! We're nasty women and more. Patriarchy's a bore. Trump grab pussy, but pussy grab back. Feminism is where it's at.
This has been a very bad election cycle. Like, whenever I tune into what's going on, I'm just like, is this a joke? Like, did I hit my head or something? Like, is this for real?
Watch, you can join us with making magic happen. Trump be gone!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Nasty women vote!
There we go.
Reclaim this word witch.
It's about honoring the earth and honoring the sacred in everything.
A witch is like a wise woman and a woman who respects the cycle of life and death and rebirth.
I think it's more about witches representing nasty women and the idea that women who are powerful, women who don't succumb to patriarchy have been historically marked as witches and bitches. Those are words that are put onto Hillary Clinton all the time. Loves to lie.
Mentirosa.
She'll say anything and change nothing.
Mucho hablar y poco hacer.
Here's a new one. Namaste. The nasty woman in me recognizes.
This makes me feel like really inspired that people would come together and care for each other and voice their opinions.
Were the witches? Where did they come from? Maybe your great-great-grandmother was one. The witches were wise, wise women, they say. And there's a little witch in every woman today. There's a little witch in every woman today.
Get out there and vote November 8th. We'll get stuck in Vermont with you again real soon. Sign up for our weekly email alerts. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
One pussy, one vote. One pussy, one vote.
I was just laughing to like see like these older women just like so casually yelling the word pussy like in the street. I was like, all right, the times they are a-changing. You know, I was like, if my mom could see my
Okay.
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
Let's organize at the top of Church Street. Gather any people chanting, stop shopping, start panicking, and then we'll stage it here where there's a lot of people, and then we'll stage it one more block down where there's a lot of people. So let's start up there.
Great.
I like the stop shopping part. I hadn't been aware of that one.
You should take one if you want. Sorry, not trying to pressure you. Challenge by choice. Oh, look at you. We can go to the Ben and Jerry's museum if you want. Well, I just people are like 15 people are like, what? Where are they?
So,
Our sirens.
So you guys, I really recommend we wait a minute or two. It's not quite 2:30 yet. And just gather together and discuss one more time what we're going to do. We're going to go down Church Street chanting, stop shopping, start panicking. We're going to stage the panic attack at that first block there in front of Uncommon Grounds where there's some people. Right? And then we're going to march one more block down and stage it one more time, right?
And staging the panic attack just means, for those of us who haven't really been paying attention, panicking when everyone says panic and waving our hands.
Right. If you have no other assigned role, your role is to panic.
Could we
Here's the
rehearse
script.
panicking right now? Just to, like, how do we panic?
women to stop being uppity. A woman wanted to vote. She was hysterical. A woman wanted to own property. She was hysterical. And now women and people of all genders are hysterical that Donald Trump is about to become president of the United States. 5 days, 18 hours, 24 minutes, and 35 seconds for Trump to become the president. Please calm down. It'll be okay. It's totally normal. Look, there are lots of reasons to panic. Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions just spent his life working against the Voting Rights Act, and now he's going to be the Attorney General. And Jeff Sessions says grabbing a woman by the pussy is not sexual assault. He doesn't even know the law. 5 days, 18 hours, 23 minutes, and 34 seconds for this Führer to become president! How about this reason? Rex Tillerson for Secretary of State.
Wait a minute. I want to talk about Jeff Sessions.
All right.
I don't think they're being fair. How do you work this thing?
Just speak right in there, sister.
I don't think you're being fair. Now, we have to admit that Jeff Sessions works very, very hard.
Right? Racism.
He works so hard that did you know in 2 years in Alabama, he worked to get 40 people executed. That's how hard he works. Some of those people were mentally ill, certified by the court. They had intellectual disabilities. 11 of those trials were so rife with racial bias, the jury voted for life imprisonment, not an execution. Sessions pushed the judge to override the jury. Those 11 people were executed. This man works hard. He has blood on his hands.
Here's another reason to panic. Rex Tillerson, Big Oil, is going to be Secretary of State. Rex Tillerson, he's best friends with this guy named Sechin. Sechin is Putin's right-hand man. If you don't think that there's something fishy about all that, you aren't paying attention. Panic! 5 days, 18 hours, 21 minutes, and 37 seconds for Trump to become president.
Here's another reason to panic. Betsy DeVos for Secretary of Ed. She has no professional experience in education, but has spent a fortune seeking to expand vouchers that give taxpayer dollars to pay for private and religious schools. Talk about DeVos. She has no degree in education. She has never taught a day in her life. She and her family have never even gone to public school. She thinks teachers are paid too much.
Five days, 18 hours, 20 minutes, and 45 seconds for this bigot to become President Biden! All right, we have to talk about Steve Bannon and the alt-right. Alt-right! Call it what it is! White supremacists! Nazis! That's right. It's not the alt-right. It's white supremacy. It's neo-Nazis. If you don't know anything about Steve Bannon, you should know that he made Breitbart a platform for the alt-right.
Wow! Who is the alt-right? Who are these Nazis? Richard Spencer's a seemingly charming and handsome man who has a master's degree from the University of Chicago and heads the Nazi National Policy Institute that argues for a white homeland. Spencer has led a crowd in chants of "Sig Trump" after Trump's election, and this winter released the names and addresses of Jews in his hometown of Whitefish, Montana, and then neo-Nazis organized the protests of skinheads against those Jews.
Time to panic!
Hours, 19 minutes, and 17 seconds. For Trump to become president!
Just talk into it.
Talk into it. Yeah. Don't worry, Trump will be impeached in a year, and then we have Mike Pence.
Wait! What else can we do besides panic?
Resist!
Resist! Yes, right. Pay money to the ACLU. What else?
Donate to Planned Parenthood!
Fight back! Get a women's movement going.
Run for office!
Yeah! Washington next week!
Washington!
And one more thing, you can join us on Facebook at the Unaffected Coalition or Feminists Against Trump.
Stop shopping, start panicking. 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 Stop shopping, start panicking.
Once upon a time, in a city built on a hill, overhanging a large blue lake. A large blue lake. There were feminist witches who gathered. Yes, who gathered. Normally, they were feasting. Feasting. Fun. Fun. Fabulous. Fabulosas. But then they had grown fearful. Fearful. An evil orange filled the air. Evil orange filled the air. Poisonous. Poisonous. Suffocating. Sufocante. Dangerous. Peligroso. Misogynistic. Misogino. Grabbing women by the pussy. Grabbing the wall by the pussy. They told themselves the stories of witches of old. The stories of witches of old. The ones who were burned. And the ones who survived. The ones that survived. And how they plotted. They plotted. Silently. Silently. In the shadows. In las sombras. To tell their progeny. Their progeny. That they could smash evil. Smash! That they could be victorious. Victorious! And their words, whispered, spoken, shouted! Trouble! And this nightmare on the double! Hair of Trump and eye of Mitch! You've unleashed a furious wish! Toxico. Putrid. Putrido. Machista. Machista. Pretentious. Narcisista. was slowly taking over.
Slowly taking over the lake, the beautiful lake.
They decided they must smash it.
Yes, let's smash it!
Smash the patriarchy!
Smash the patriarchal!
Smash white supremacy!
Smash it, smash it, smash it!
Smash the xenophobia!
Smash it!
So they gathered around and carved orange pumpkins into the image of
the orange one!
The most poisonous!
Poisonous!
Toxic!
Toxic!
Orange one of them all!
Orange one! Y sus secuaces!
And their selfish acolytes. And they took the trumpkins and they gathered all the feminists.
Feministas!
All the witches.
Brujas!
The bitches.
Putas!
And the queerly magical creatures.
Queerly magical creatures.
Around the orange trumpkins.
Yes.
And they said the story aloud.
Aloud.
They said the incantation aloud.
They say it!
Trump, be gone!
Trump, be gone!
Trump, be gone!
Trump, be gone!
Smash! Smash! Smash!
I told the boy I had a bad dream. He said, "Have a new one." I told the boy I had a bad dream. He said, "Have a new one." I told the boy I had a bad dream. He said, "Have a new one." Boy, I had a bad dream. He said, "Have a new one." I told the boy I had a bad dream. He said, "Have a new one."
Yes, husband. Where did you put my hat? You left it on the back of the kitchen chair. Oh, I found it. Catalina! Yes, Seredonio. I can't find my black socks. Oh, that's because I washed them. You did what? I washed them. Woman, if you keep washing my clothes like that, you're gonna wash them to death. Seredonio, they were dirty. Where are the blue ones? Catalina! Ay, Seredonio, you scare me. Catalina, I can't find my underwear. Seredonio, Today you're going to have to go without them. What? I never go without my undies. But Ceredonio, I wash them. And they're drying as we speak. Woman, what in the world? You hung my underwears outside. They will dry faster. But Catalina, everybody will see them. Who's everybody, Ceredonio? Our neighbors? What neighbors? Marieta? And Pablo? Their house is 100 acres away. Catalina, hanging my underwears outside of the line. Catalina, why did you do that? Ceredonio. Catalina! I'm coming. Catalina, where's my guitar? Hi, Ceredonio, can you find your head? Oh, very funny. It's over my shoulder. And hanging on what? Catalina, don't treat me like that. More respect to your husband. And what are you going to do with that guitar, Ceredonio? It doesn't have strings. Catalina, the music is inside of my head. Come up here. I'm going to sing you a song. Are you sure? I have a lot of things to do right now, Ceredonio. Come up here. I'm going to show you something. Okay, I'm coming. What is it? I am going to sing a song I wrote for you. My love. Romantic. I'm going to lay down here. I'm waiting. Ding, 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 ding. What is that? I'm tuning the guitar. Tuning the guitar? The guitar doesn't have any strings, Ceredonio. I'm tuning my head. I marry a beautiful woman. I'm not as dumb as I seem. I marry a beautiful woman. I'm not as dumb as I seem. If her cooking is like her walking, I will lick my plate clean. Ceredonio. What did you think, Catalina? Pumpkin flowers every year for sure. But Ceredonio's shame grows every day and has no cure. Catalina, come back here, Catalina.
I'm so excited to be a part of this project. Thank you, Julia and Lisa, for putting it together. I've chosen to share a short story of mine that was published in 2014 in January online and in an anthology in the spring and summer by Quail Bell Magazine, a literary magazine in Richmond, Virginia. This story has a political message. It's about a dream that I have where Sylvia Plath appears. And I'm collaborating with Victoria Lowry, a very talented young filmmaker. So I'm really excited to share this story with you. I think it fits with what we're trying to achieve with this project. Enjoy. In my dream, I walk alone on a midnight street that spins below my feet. I shut my eyes and blot out the moon that hangs high over the colorful gables. When I open them again, the colors have been washed away, and I stare at a gray winter landscape. Sylvia Plath suddenly appears at my side. We are silent, she and I, as we walk the gray street. I notice her softly curled hair and narrow chin. Her lips are luminous, contrasting with the colorless world around us, a circle of red that draws me to her. I want to ask her why she's here, why we are walking through the streets, but I'm afraid that she'll disappear, that I'll lose this time with her. I know that she is dead, that she is visiting me from the other side. This doesn't frighten me. The street fans out in a slow arc to the right, and the houses begin to gain color. A splash of pink on a windowsill, a swath of blue on a door. Soon the neighborhood is awash in color, and the lawns sprout green. She was 10 when my mother was born, and wrote poetry like my mother does now. Twice she took too many pills and left her children without a mother. I wonder, does Sylvia visit her children in her dreams? She shows me her hands, which are covered in blood, red like the luminous color of her lips, with a hole in the center of her palms. I carried the cross, she says. Her voice is smooth, melodious, and I am enchanted by her words, which spring from metaphor. I sacrifice so that others could spring from my head, she says. Small eyes peer at me from below raised eyebrows. I see my reflection there. It's as if I've sprung directly from their watery depths. We arrive at a house, a brick brownstone with 8 windows. I have the sense that we are in London, or Cambridge, or any place that houses the intellectual. She holds the key to the brownstone in her hands. Black gilded numbers hang from the brick, 23 Fitzroy. As she fits the key into the lock, the moonlight reflects on the metal mail slot, and I am aware that the moon has accompanied us the entire journey. I walk through the door and look back. Behind me, Sylvia is gone. Was she ever really there? I turn back to enter the shadowy house. A man is sitting in the library, a pouty look on his face, his angular nose casting shadows. His glasses are perfect black O's, like the shape of Sylvia's red mouth. So, you've come here to learn, he says in a thick Irish brogue. Wavy white hair perfectly crests above his head, like an ocean wave receding from the shore. I don't know why I'm here, I answer honestly. Quite right, he chuckles, and then says, whatever you do, don't take the pills. And he holds out his hand, a thin slice of moonlight illuminating the pills in his palm. I walk to the window in the library and look out into the streets, which are coming alive. Where are we? I ask the man behind me, but when I turn to hear his answer, I see that he is gone. A quill pen is lying on neatly penned pages that cover the desk. I see his signature on an old parcel post label. It is barely legible, but I make out the name, W.B. Yeats. Turning back to the window, I see people spilling out of their brownstones, briefcases and bags in their hands. A violet sky heralds the early morning. I realize that I've been up all night, and I go in search of a bed. When I wake, a sweet smell surrounds me. I follow the scent to the kitchen. Sylvia is kneeling before a stove. The sweetness hangs like magnolia blossoms heavy with bloom. When she turns her face toward me, I see dark circles that ring her eyes. Her cheekbones are gaunt. Her lips have been drained of their color. A taproot is clutched in her right hand. Before I can speak, I notice that the walls have turned to glass, that women fill the streets outside the brownstone. Look, Sylvia says, look and understand. The women walk in packs, some with white banners cast across their chests with the words, right to vote. Some with red letters sewn to their linen dresses, some without clothes, hiding their breasts with one hand, fingers spread wide and hiding their pubic hair with the other. Others walk fully dressed, rifles at their side. They continue on, and I see that one walks alone, swathed all in black, shiny dark eyes peering at me from beneath a heavy burqa. I turn back to Sylvia, who has taken on an ethereal glow. I fight the urge to grab her, to hold her down, to keep her from floating into the morning sky. Look again, she says in a throaty, tired voice. Turning back, I see women walking in straitjackets, their mouths cast open and no sounds escaping. I see pregnant women with their bellies bare, women with their hair cut short, and women with their hair worn past their waists. Suddenly, I am with them on the street, walking among them. I have no idea how I have gotten here. I feel their elbows, their warm breaths. I hear their whispers, their cries, their long sighs. The pavement below my feet melts and turns to sticky tar. Soon, a wave of green tumbles across the gooey surface, a blanket of grass that spreads below our boots, bare feet, slippers, and shoes. The street bends and curves so that I see the full shape of the earth, the infinite sky of the universe. I hear Sylvia beside me. I have suffered the atrocity of sunsets, scorched to the root. My red filaments burn and stand a hand of wires. I nod in understanding. Now I break up in pieces that fly about. Her voice fades away, and she is no longer standing beside me. The women disperse in different directions, and I am alone on the street, shivering with cold. Only a few people still mill about on the sidewalks. I turn back to find Sylvia again and realize that I'd never left, that I am standing in front of the black door with 23 Fitzroy emblazoned in black gilded characters beside it. I turn the handle and walk back into the brownstone, my footsteps echoing on the wood floor. At first, I think the place is empty, deserted, but when I reach the kitchen, I see Sylvia still beside the oven, resting on her knees. Pills lie in the palm of her outstretched hand. Here, she says, take these. We all do. I shake my head no, and she smiles a radiant, full smile that lights up the room. A pink apron covers her gray-fitted dress. Her glossy hair is cut short and lies curled against her neck. She motions for me to join her on the floor. She hands me a pink apron and a thick, cushiony oven mitt. I tie the apron around my waist and slide my right hand into the warm mitt. She nods toward the oven, and I open the door. The sweet smell of gas wafts through the room. She lays her head on the floor and curls into a ball, her eyes fluttering closed. Take them, she says. I look into the oven and realize that it is filled with books. With my mittened hand, I pull the hot rack toward me. Book after book falls into my waiting hands. Books with names like Jane Austen, and Charlotte Bronte, and George Eliot, and George Sands, and Virginia Woolf, and Gloria Steinem, and Alice Walker, and Sylvia Plath. They fall like a bouquet of flowers into my lap.
Thank you to all the sisters. We may be wrapping up the hashtag 101 Nights campaign on Election Day, but the Scheherazade Project will continue beyond this one event. We've gathered such an incredible community of strong, fierce, creative women whose voices and art can continue to change the world for the better. There's so much work to do. First, let's finish this job. Make sure your vote counts.
Coming up. Almost there. En torno al caldero das vueltas y vueltas, llena la viscera infecta de Pence y McConnell y de Trump y el fascista. Rompamos por fin la cultura machista. Bubble, bubble, boil and trouble, and this nightmare on the double. Fires of God in cauldrons bubble. Hair of Trump and ear of Mitt. They may call me Barrett. You have so little merit, but Mitch will push you through. So here's what you must do. Resign! 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 Abracadabra, here's a spell. Mitch McConnell, go to hell. Abracadabra, here's a spell. It's me down, go to hell. Fires burn and cauldrons
an ear of mitts. You've unleashed the furious witch.
Thank you to our generous donors. With your donations, we have been able to purchase video editing, transcription, and live stream scheduling software. We've been able to secure equipment like tripods, projector, lights, microphones. We've been able to upgrade social media accounts to business and premier. These are just a few examples of how your donation made it possible for us to produce #101 Nights. Without you, we couldn't have shifted our original plan of live performances in front of the White House to streamed performances online. Help us sustain and grow this beloved community by donating money, volunteering time, or by telling your friends about us. With your help, we'll be able to provide a wider platform for artists, produce higher quality videos, publicize our activism to bring voices to a wider audience, pay our interns, and hire an executive director. Please consider supporting us.
The stories that we share will live on, and so we say these truths are our gifts passed on to you. Women.